Welcome back, listeners. We are sitting on the back porch of Bryce Hoppel's pad here in Lawrence, Kansas.
Yep.
Just ran the 400 meters at the Rock Chalk invite, and last night ran the 800 meters as well. So you had a little double weekend at the home meet.
Yeah.
How did it go for you?
It went pretty well. I mean, the 8 kind of, I wanted something a little faster out of it, but I mean, it's a good opener to like kind of get going in that again. And then the coach kind of just sprung the 400 meter today, and so we did that like 40 minutes ago. But I was just kind of like seeing how fast I can go and hit the max speed, just kind of hanging on to those guys, and did the best I could.
Yeah, the cool down for today is recording a podcast on the patio here.
Exactly. Yeah, don't let my coach know that I didn't cool down. So this is the cool down.
It's a very breezy one out there today, so I'm assuming that kind of affected the times a little bit.
A little bit. I mean, just the bad thing with Kansas is you're always going to get wind, and
right.
so it's hard to get away from it. But
right. So the 800 facility record yesterday?
Yeah. It was funny because the reason I pretty much ran it was because I was looking through the facility records and stuff, and I was like, Donavan Brazier has a KU facility record. And I was like, well,
you can't leave that.
Like, Coach, you got to put me in it so I can get it. And so that was kind of like the inspiration of like coming here. But it was cool to just like get back and run at the home track. So
that's interesting. I was wondering if, since the Kansas City qualifier meet this weekend as well, and about 35 minutes away, I was wondering why the home meet versus the Kansas City qualifier meet. But I guess that makes some sense to get a little revenge there.
Yeah, the head coach kind of just like wanted me to come back too, and I wanted it as well. It's cool to like run in front of the home crowd, and
absolutely,
it was fun to get back there. I mean, it'd been like probably 2 years now since I raced there, so
yeah,
it was fun to get back.
Do you pull a crowd now that you're a pro runner here? Do you feel like a lot of people do recognize you as a pro runner now, and they come out to watch?
Yeah, no, it was cool because like last night there was like a pretty good following out there, kind of just like cheering on for the 800. So it was cool to see that. My trainer was like joking around. I was like, everyone out there is like probably here to see you. And I was like, nah, don't say that. Don't say that. But no, it was cool. It was a pretty good atmosphere, and hopefully I raced pretty well for him. So
you delivered for sure. So I guess what is coming up next for you over these next few weeks ahead of the trials?
Yeah, we got a fun one this upcoming Sunday, not tomorrow, but Sunday in LA, and we should have a fast 8. I mean, just like on the rumor, I think Donovan and Marco and Isaiah are supposed to be there. So if that's the case, then we're gonna have a fast 8.
That's stacked.
So we can start hyping that up now.
Let's do it. Plug. Shameless plug.
Yeah. No, hopefully that's it, because like, I mean, that's the race people want to see in terms of the 800s, and so I think it'll be fun. Kind of see if we can get some fast times leading into that trials, but for the most part, focus on the trials, and so just get ready for that.
Yeah, how's been like mentally preparing for that?
It's always tough, just because like, I mean, especially with like how COVID went. Like I was ready for it last year, and I just definitely still feel ready for this year, but it was just like, okay, like hang on, stay in the shape that I am. And so it hasn't been tough. Like I think I'll start feeling the nerves of it as we get closer.
Sure.
But no, I'm ready for it.
So like over the past year or so, you've been training with the KU guys, still with Coach Whit. How has been, you've talked on other podcasts that you're mostly training on your own because you're obviously a pro runner, a caliber above collegiate runners. How has that been to sort of be training not on your own, but like leading the pack and then going into these races where folks like Donovan can give you a good run for your money?
Yeah, I think we got a good dynamic going here, Kate, because like, although like I am kind of like a caliber ahead, I mean, there's still some great guys on our like training on the roster and that I train with. And so it kind of holds me accountable, because like in my head, it's like I could be having a bad day and they could be having an on day. And like, it's still in my head that like, no, I got to stay ahead of these guys.
Yeah.
Like I can't be falling back and letting them pass me. And so like we'll be later in reps. And so I'll have like kind of higher volume workouts sometimes. So I'll do like a mile or like 1,000 before they even get started. And then there's one guy on my team, I don't want to name names, but they'll sandbag sometimes and like start trying to like come up and push me on the last reps. And I'm like, I just kind of have like man, like I guess like let's do this. And then we kind of just like start sprinting there at the end of an interval. But no, it's a good dynamic, and I'm comfortable with the training and stuff, and so I mean it's working, and I don't know, not sure I'm gonna make any moves anytime soon, but
for sure, yeah, that was actually something we wanted to ask you about was being the sole Adidas guy here professionally. How do you no plans in the near future, at least. Do you foresee yourself leaving this area, going anywhere else, trying to find a training group? I mean, I'm trying to think of other big Adidas training groups. Tin Man Elite comes to mind. Is that coming to mind for you to jump in with that squad? How are you thinking about that?
I don't know. I've thought about it just because like it'd be nice to get into a group to where it's like we're all going towards more of the same goal. I mean, all the guys here are like still trying to run fast and stuff. But no, I kind of feel comfortable here. I think the main thing that's going to kind of push me away is like when all the homies start graduating. And so then when I kind of start feeling older, because like right now I'm like, I was so focused in my early years of college. It's like kind of nice to just still be around it and just live that life, I guess, a little bit. And so once I start feeling older and maybe age out of it, I'll probably want to move on.
Switch it up.
Yeah. Kind of just hanging on to it right now, though.
Yeah. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly.
Do you feel like Lawrence is pretty good as far as like climate and conditions and facilities for training? I mean, it definitely gets super freaking hot in the summer.
I mean, facilities, you've got that sick
facilities
indoor.
is good.
Yeah. Honestly, not really. Because like the winters are pretty brutal. Like being from Texas.
Right.
Like, it's not.
Significantly
it's
colder. Yeah.
It's tough. And then it gets hot in the summer. And then I think kind of having to deal with those factors is like it gives you a little bit of edge because it kind of builds some toughness to have to like work in non-favorable conditions. And another thing is like the wind, like out at Rock Chalk, that thing is just like a wind tunnel somehow. It could not be a windy day here, but when you're going to head out to the track, it's going to somehow be windy out there. Yeah. And so I think having to work in that all the time is also kind of like you kind of just get used to it and kind of push a little harder.
Do you think that kind of contributes to your just consistency as a racer?
I think so, a little bit.
Having to deal with Lawrence humidity and whatever else.
Yeah, just kind of the extreme conditions. But I don't know. The consistency is kind of just stay healthy and make sure you're doing what you're doing. But
going from being with Coach Whit in college to now, like what has changed about your training and even like relationship with him?
I think the relationships stay the same, which is good. The training is... we did like start to do like more volume. And so it's funny because like I was terrible at working out like my early years of college. Like I was not the head of the pack or anything. And like I'd be struggling to like hold on to workouts or finish workouts with some of those guys. And so it was always kind of weird because then when racing time came around, I was like always good at that, obviously. Yeah. But like I was never good at training. And so I think in these later years and now when I'm pro, I finally figured out how to get the workout thing working. And so now it's just like, okay, that's going to show in racing as well.
What's the secret?
I think the confidence thing and like it's always been for me is like seeing myself at the level that I am at because it just happened so quickly for me. So I was like one day I was like a kid just getting into track and field and then now all of a sudden I'm at the top of it and it's like, okay, like I guess like, let's do this.
Let's keep it rolling.
Yeah,
there are definitely both those types of runners. Like there are some people who can train super well and they don't really even run any faster on race day. And then there are people who train like maybe not as fast and then they run way quicker than you would predict based on training. And so I think much better to be the latter of those and be the guy that like having in the back of your mind that I'll always step up on race day. Like whatever, bad workout, but on race day I'll show up.
It's definitely just like the competition because I never expected myself to like do anything in the 4 and then all of a sudden I found myself on like the 4x4 anchor for KU and then we never figured it out because like we never did any speed work or like even prepared for a 400 but like for some reason if you toss me in the anchor leg and put some guys that I have to go chase down like
you'll find
at the competitor hard's like I gotta go I have to go get these guys especially for like a team aspect like I'll do it for y'all like I'll try and so that's definitely one of the things that always pushes me and so that's why I'm always excited to like get in good races. Like I remember like I posted my schedule like on my thing and someone was like mentioning like, oh, like you do like you're confident enough to like kind of put your schedule out there for everyone to do. And I was like, yeah, like hopefully it does invite people to like that are better than me to come race. Cause like why would you wanna it's cool to be like the top dog, but like I want people that are better than me at running and go race with them because like that's how you push yourself and I want to see what I can do. And so
the goal shouldn't be to duck everyone and then show up at the trials and then get smoked because you ducked everyone all season. You didn't realize that you were not at their level. So
you need those losses to like push you forward. Like if you just, sure it's cool to win all the time.
Coming from a guy that doesn't lose very often with the big win streak there at the end of college going into the pro season. So
and that's one of the things too. Like when people ask like what made the changes throughout that college is like I had some pretty like stinging losses in the early seasons and those kind of just sat with me. It's like, I'm not going to let that happen again. Can't let it happen again. And one of them was like losing at that. I do pretty well in the finish and like close, and one of my biggest losses was like on that final stretch of an 800, and it's like can't let that happen
Like
again.
that's my thing. You can't say
now
that.
now it's my thing now.
Yeah.
A little bit, I guess. But.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see kind of the different strategies, I guess, between people like one extreme kind of like Bowerman group that rarely races, and then someone like yourself that races all the time. And like personally, I always found myself, I'm always better when I race like all the time, because then you just know what it feels like. Whenever I race for the first time after a month, I'm just like, I forgot how bad it hurts. I forgot like how to get ready for it, and I get extra nervous. And so, I mean, do you think you'll kind of keep that strategy going forward? I mean, in college, it's easy to race all the time because there just are meets like every week.
It's just like you're kind of forced to
run
like
3 races every single meet.
Go along with the team, and like and then there's the aspect of like you're trying to get points for the team too.
Right,
So kind of, like,
right. They need you. Yeah,
that's
deliver.
That was an adjustment though to like pro, because like we started getting like these shorter schedules, and it's like, okay, like what meets do you want to run? And it's like, okay, yeah, put me in everything. And then my coach is like, no, we can't do that. And so that was an adjustment, just because like I want to race as much as I can, but now it's like you have to have a purpose for a race. It's not just like in college you're just like going out there to race.
Yeah.
But now it's like, okay, why do you want to race in this? Like, what do you want to do there? And so it's like you have to like almost justify it. But my justification is usually just like, because I want to race. Like, obviously, coach, put me in it.
Right.
But
do you try to do different things each race? Like this race, I'm gonna just go out hard, lead from the front. Next race, I'm gonna try to sit. Do you go into that level of, or is it kind of game time decision, race by race?
Game time decision with like who you're racing. Usually, it's like depends on who you're gonna go with. And so like this race, like I knew I was kind of just like go out and take it and kind of just leave it all out there. That was like another thing coming into the race was like, okay, like. Because some races, like, you don't know, especially when you don't have a pacer, it kind of just like can go out slow or something. It's like, I'm going to make it fast. And so just kind of like see what I can do if I just push my limits the whole time of the race. And that's kind of the goal for this one.
How much pre-work or like research do you do on the heat that you're in?
Honestly, kind of a lot. I just like looking like what everyone has run and seeing like what they've run recently and like their history and stuff.
Yeah.
I just maybe more of just like being a stats nerd. I don't know how much I apply it to like my actual strategy, but I just like having the knowledge of like where everyone
just being aware of like, okay, their game plan is probably this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't like go too in depth where it's like, okay, show me some past races and like watch video and stuff. Maybe for the championship races, like see kind of what they've done. But at this point, all the big like competitors, like I know how they race at this, like, and kind of like what they're going to do and stuff. But
yeah,
for sure.
So I mean, we don't want to give away any secrets here. I mean, I know Donavan Brazier listens to this, but like, have you thought about your strategy for the trials yet, or like how you're going to approach that? Or I mean, I guess you kind of got to get through the couple of rounds first before you worry about the championship. But
yeah,
I don't know if you have like an ideal strategy in mind. Maybe without giving away too many secrets, but
I haven't. I tried to like put it on my mind like for now, because like we still got a good amount of time.
Right.
But it just kind of like stresses me out, because it's like, oh no, like everything has to go right when you get there. Like, I don't know. Hopefully I get a good seed to where you don't really have to worry about the first couple of rounds.
Right.
But I always picture the final. I don't picture those first things, which is like, I mean, you can't take those for granted.
Yeah.
But you got to get through those first. But when I envision the trials, I'm always envisioning that final with all the guys. And I kind of just seeing out, I don't know. I always just like have my mind on Donavan, just like find out where he's at and kind of go with him. And so that's what I've been thinking of.
For, let's say hypothetically, through some act of God, neither you nor Donavan win. And you have the choice between you winning or you beating Donavan. What do you want more?
Wait,
I'm confused too.
Yeah.
Time out. So you said someone else is gonna win.
Yeah. In one scenario, but you're still so you get like second, Donovan gets third, or would you rather? I guess fair enough. That's a dumb question.
In both cases.
In both cases, he's beating Donovan. So you gave him a softball there. It's like I'm beating Donovan no matter what.
Well, what do you want more though?
Ideal situation, just make the team. It honestly there's not a huge thing to like winning the trials. Like I see it more of let's just get
as a stepping
to the Olympics,
stone
and then
to
the Olympics is where you want to like beat people, I guess. Yeah. And so looking at like I kind of look at it like team aspect. Like I want to get the best guys there, and like right now, like me, Donavan, and then hopefully get in that third guy that's going to do well too, and go see if we can sweep the medals for USA. But
I mean, I'm definitely excited to see that because it looks like Radisha's probably not making a comeback. It looks like it.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, you got a couple other guys that are definitely threats, but like you could have 2 USA, maybe even a sweep. I mean, that's tough to do. Very rare, like stats wise that would, or probability wise that would happen. But I mean, two dudes
like
from
saying
the US on the. I mean, it definitely is realistic though. 2 guys on the podium.
Oh yeah,
that would be.
I just like to say the sweep just because like it's cool to not assert like the US dominance, but I mean we've got a good like mid distance crew right now. So
yeah.
And you guys haven't even like really raced each other either. So like you and Donavan running excellent times, but not necessarily meeting that often to like push each other that extra little bit. So I think that'll be.
I think we'll see more. I mean, now that we have like a full Diamond League schedule, I'm sure I'm gonna be at as many as I can, and I'm sure he's gonna go to as many as he can. And so it's like when people like would say like, oh, why haven't they raced each other yet? I mean, there's COVID. Like we couldn't get into a ton of races. Like
dude, there's like 4 meets a month.
Like, what do you think we're gonna do? Just like
the haters think that you and Donovan are ducking each other or something. I mean, when you went and ran because I think it was the meet when you ran the K, right? He was there running the 8.
Oh yeah.
And so it was like
I could see how they could like
speculators like, oh, they're ducking each other.
Speculate that, but like
gotta set records, you know.
I had my mind on that 1,000 for the longest time, ever since the last year, and so it was always like I'd been set to like. I mean, they made that 1,000 for me to run again, and so we weren't ducking each other. It's just we had different agendas at the time.
For sure. And
so,
have you done Diamond League circuit before, the Europe circuit before, or not?
I've just been in like that Monaco one last year, and then I ran a Doha, but like I haven't gotten the full thing to where it leads up to like the Zurich final or anything.
Got it.
And so I'm looking forward to that big time. So
yeah, that'll be probably from the stories that I've heard of others that have been on the Europe circuit. You gotta like kind of watch yourself not get too carried away on the post track meet activities and festivities.
That's some of the
I've heard that
stuff.
can trip up some folks here and there, but
I didn't. I think the first time I came across that was at the U.S. indoors, and I didn't really realize there's like gonna be some festivities afterwards. Like I thought you kind of view everyone in the track community as being just like dead set on like I gotta be religious with my body with what you put in it, but. No, we were having a fun time out at Albuquerque.
Who parties harder, the KU guys or Brooksby's?
I think the KU guys.
The KU guys have the youth on their side. A little bit of extra.
That's for sure.
They have that rally power to just like go at it like back to back. So. No,
that's like an interesting topic. Kind of is how do you feel about because like you said like. A lot of the people there like went out, had a good time after the race. I think there is kind of the question of like, is it better to be cold turkey during the season, or is it good to have the balance? Like a lot of people we talk to are like they think it's all about like good balance, and you gotta like have that mental de-stress once in a while and just go have fun with it.
That's what I was kind of like thinking about it, like de-stressing. Just like you want to have a fun time. You don't want to like stress your body out by just like always being on it. And so I think if you do have the good balance and like. Kind of just like know your limits. Like you don't want to just like absolutely get wasted like back-to-back days and then you're gonna be hurt and then try to hit a workout the next day. Obviously you're gonna have to like rest after that, and so kind of just like treat it like that. But
yeah. So how about KU? Give us a Mount Rushmore of bars in KU.
Ooh, a Mount Rushmore of bars.
Because Adam's been to many of these bars.
Mount Rushmore is right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, the Hawk is like your first introduction. I feel like. It's like freshman bar, just a wild time in there. Like you never know what's gonna go down, especially when you get like there's this room in the bottom of it called the Boom Boom Room, so I didn't like drink for the longest time, and I would just like go in there, just like have a fun time.
Dude, people watching there is insane.
Yeah, you do not want to go in there sober though.
No,
it is. I like walked in there, I was like, oh my god, this smell. I'm like, I need to get out of here immediately.
It smells like middle school dances, like just really sweaty and gross.
You got to be well into it before you head down there because you're not gonna have a fun time unless you don't know where you're at. So that's what that room is for, is to make sure you don't know where you're at to go down there. But the Hawk is just a crazy time. I feel like the Bull is kind of its more matured brother. You kind of just like go and chill there, and then so there's like kind of been some new moves recently to where Mass Street's getting some cooler bars, and so there's like the trifecta of the Wheel, the Hawk, and the Bull right there. That's like the main attractions. I'd say those are like the Mount Rushmore, but to put a fourth on there, I think there's this new one called Logie's that's kind of coming around on Mass Street, and so it'll be cool to like have them added over there, but
Yeah, definitely.
I don't really have experience with it.
Yeah, the hawk, like, God, the hawk, you'll see the weirdest shit. I TA'd a math class and saw like 3 students on a weeknight. It's like, wow, not going to the hawk again.
Yeah. Oh, no, there's been fun times at all of them.
What was that name of the drink you were telling me about?
Oh, yeah. Tell us how you make a moose ball.
How you make it?
Yeah.
I have no clue how to make it, but I just know it's
Describe it.
it's just this huge like blue cup. I couldn't tell you what's in it. Like usually, I don't know.
Like it looks like Powerade.
Yeah, it looks like Powerade. It's like, oh, this is gonna hydrate me. So maybe that's another factor of like, shoot, this looks like I'm hydrating at the same time, and so that's probably a factor that gets you. But no, there's definitely some not so good stuff in there for the body.
Yeah, there's some poison.
But it's just a massive cup. It's like, I don't know how many.
Yeah, it's like a McDonald's extra large or large. It's disgusting.
So how many drinks do you think are in this thing? If you had to like say what the equivalent is it like 4 drinks, 5, like?
I don't know. All I know is responsibly
At
I
least 4.
should only have 1.
Okay.
Yeah,
so 2 is way too many.
Dude, 2 moose balls.
Oh, it's kind of like
You're getting stretchered home.
when you bring a 6-pack to a party, you're like, this is all I'm drinking. That's 1 moose ball.
Yeah.
That's responsible.
Oh wow. Okay.
Well, because I feel like to get to the point of the moose ball, you've definitely already pre-gamed before you got there, and so
Yeah.
it's just
all you
enough
need.
it's enough for a fun night on its own. And so
Yeah.
if you're adding it in with other things, it's like
You're playing with fire.
exactly.
Speaking of bars and I guess like nightlife, what's your music taste like these days?
Oh, music taste. Shoot. I've still just been stuck on like ever since like late high school, kind of like 70s, 80s music.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
one of the weirdest things is like I don't necessarily like to get hyped up before races, kind of just like calm down.
Are you a yawner? Do you yawn before races?
I don't think so.
Okay.
That's like hopefully not, because then I'm like sleepy. But no, so leading it like through that NCAA kind of run, for some reason Elton John was like my go-to. Like it was like Yellow Brick Road and like Your Song, which
Oh,
is like
okay.
pretty like calm songs.
Yeah.
But for some reason they like hyped me up for who knows why. But I don't know. Maybe like seeing the movie and stuff like at that time, and
Just some sort of like confidence building, but not like making you sweat because you're
But like
overhyped.
him and ELO has always kind of been like a go-to.
Okay. I would have never guessed that, to be honest. I thought you were gonna say like, I don't even know, like some rap artists or I don't. Yeah.
Okay, so for rap, Kodak is the dude. I don't know.
Okay.
I got into him like early college, and then kind of just vibed with him ever since. And we saw him. We went to KC to go like see him in concert one time, and it was a pretty fun concert. We got to see Kareem Hunt while he was still on the team, just like chilling in the thing. We're like, one of my roommates is like, "Is that Kareem Hunt?" I was like, "Yeah." Like we got to go get a picture with him and stuff.
I feel like the KC sports, like between Sporting KC, the Royals, and the Chiefs, like everyone is really approachable.
Yeah.
Like, if you see any one of those athletes at a bar, like you can go hang out with them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Especially like I feel like Patrick Mahomes seems like the nicest
Yeah.
dude.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's because
sure.
like just so young. So
Yeah.
he kind of like still in our like generation of people like. So
Yeah, that Midwest nice is definitely a thing. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, all over the Midwest, but I feel like people
For
are so
sure.
approachable and like way too nice.
What's your least favorite part about the Midwest?
least favorite part. I don't know.
We can go best and worst, so you can sandwich it.
Yeah.
I mean, the scenery
Coming
here
from
is-
Texas, listeners, if you don't know where Bryce is from Texas,
The scenery here is beautiful. I mean, you got all these mountains and stuff. And
all these fields of opportunity here,
Fields of
Just
cows.
so much corn, so much.
no, so it's hard to like think of anything bad. Not like talking on the like. I mean, I love where I'm from in the hometown, like Midland, just because like it's a great place to live and like raise a family. But to be a young adult, it's kind of just like the oil field, and it's like flatter than flat, just dirt out there. And so to come to anywhere different just seems like pretty scenic to me. Like I say it jokingly, and like at the same time, it's like it looks a lot more green and beautiful here compared to Midland, Texas. But I mean, I love both places, so it's hard to talk bad on them about anything. So
What's the favorite place that you've been to traveling for running, or I guess even outside of running on vacation?
I think Monaco. Something about just like being there. Like I mean, it's like such a hyped up race, but like just being on like the Mediterranean like coast of France right there and stuff.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And then like you add in like the Monte Carlo area and like you're just watching all these Lamborghinis and stuff driving around. It's like, I don't think I belong here.
There's a lot of money in Monaco.
Oh,
yeah.
it's ridiculous. And so it was really cool being there. And it was like, I got to hang out with knowing those guys too. And so that was a really cool experience, kind of hanging out with the Adidas squad.
Yeah. Did you get to do any boating, any yacht life while you were there? Or no?
I think I was kind of like in and out of there because I wasn't like staying long term in Europe.
Yeah.
No, I should have though. Like it looked fun. I headed just straight back to Kansas though after that. So I wish I would have stayed to go to like the Stockholm race, but
for sure,
kind of just comes in planning. I feel like I'm still just new to the whole pro scene, so I didn't know of these opportunities. I didn't know if people were going yachting. I was like, if I would have known, like,
so how much is it you versus Coach Whit? Like, how do you kind of craft your schedule, and what other players are there on your team?
What do you mean, like players on the team?
Like your support squad, you know?
Oh yeah. So I feel like so much goes into it, like especially with like my family and like just like the KU team in general and like the community here as well. Just like I feel like so much support because like through social media and stuff, you just have all these people reaching out.
Right.
And so for me, that's always like been why I do it, because like sure it's like fun and exciting to like go do those things on your own, but to have all those people like being inspired and like just so excited of the things that you accomplish is what kind of pushes me the most. But the KU staff, I mean, and Coach Whit made me into the athlete I was. I mean, sure, I was pretty decent coming out of high school, but they definitely made me into the athlete that like I am now. And so that's been, I'm just like so thankful to them. But putting the schedule together, like I was saying earlier, I want to be in everything. And then it's more so Coach Whit is like, hold on now, Bryce. Like,
let's be strategic.
Let's pick some of these. And no, the schedule making process is always fun because I just go and sit in the office and we kind of have back and forth. I'm still trying to get to Doha to go run this first Diamond League. Yeah. It's like, we got the trials coming up. Like, I don't want to send you out there and then, I don't know.
It's a lot of traveling.
Have a lot of traveling, get you tired, but I'm like, it doesn't matter. I want to go to Doha.
But it's Doha, yeah.
There's Doha. It's a Diamond League.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the dynamic of it is like, I want to be in everything and he's trying to talk me down. And so,
yeah. What if anything about Coach Whit has been like the aspect that brings out the best in you? Because his patience, like what is it? Like him telling you not to be in all these races, or just like how he's kind of molded you over the years?
Kind of just like how he's molded me over the years. I think he was a big portion of why I started becoming confident, just like with racing. Because like I said, like I was just like a high school kid that was kind of coming. I actually don't go into this a lot. Like I was kind of like on the downturn of like my soccer career. And so it was just like, I wasn't going to go to college for soccer or anything. And then all of a sudden, like this cool like opportunity came out. Like I made a great group of friends in cross country. And then all of a sudden I was like, like I'm pretty good at cross country. And so I made that transition into track, and then it just started going super well. And it's like, okay, like I think I'm good at this. And so ever since, like I still just feel like that kid that was trying to figure out what he wanted to do or like what he had like passion for. And so, and now all of a sudden I'm like running professionally. And so I think he built that confidence a lot and kind of just helped me find where I belong in life, I guess. So.
Did you play soccer all the way through high school then?
Yeah, I played like so I played like since I was like 4 years old. You get started early. And I did like a travel team for a while. We had a pretty solid group. Like we're like almost in like the academy league for like the FC Dallas team and stuff. And so the story is like sophomore year. I played up until sophomore year. That was like my last year. And that summer, our soccer coach was like, "Yo, y'all need to go out to run with the cross country team to stay in shape for soccer."
Yeah.
Like, okay, let's do it. And then that's kind of like how I got into it.
Interesting. Okay.
So yeah.
What position in soccer?
I was the right outside mid, and so pretty much just dust everyone down and then cross it in.
Exactly.
That was my specialty.
Exactly.
And so it was like the running aspect. Like I could just blaze down the side, and then I was good at crossing it in. And
it seems like a lot of soccer players and mid D runners is like the perfect combo because you're always like accelerating, sprinting, but it's also you're running a lot of miles over the course.
You have good aerobic base.
It's aerobic and
with a little burst,
and it's all the burst.
And I was always the kid that like, because you do some like aerobic training for soccer, and like okay, like let's go do some laps. And I was a kid that was like excited because like okay, like let's go run. And all the other kids on the team are like, oh, we gotta go run. But it was funny because like
Yeah.
I feel like I saw it like I was gonna be a runner, but not at the time. It's just like I was excited to do laps on the soccer field.
Right,
So.
right. We've actually asked like a few people this. Like, do you consider? So some people are like super just into running and not necessarily. I mean, they compete, but they're really good at running because they're just so into running. But then you also have people like, I mean, Craig Ingalls is a perfect example of this. He's like, it's not that he necessarily loves running; he just loves competing, and he happens to be like really good at running. So like that's his outlet of competing.
Yeah.
Do you think you're more just like running? You really like running because that is where you're like, top notch in the world.
Yeah.
Or could you see yourself, when you retire at some point, are you going to be the guy that still goes out and like gets some miles in every day?
No, I think I'll definitely run for the rest of my life. Like I'm gonna be that 90-year-old man still trying to do laps out of the track.
Okay.
But no, I feel like I was just like always had passion for just sports in general because I like grew up around the baseball field because my dad's like a GM for a baseball team, and he was also a GM for a hockey team at the time too. So like I grew up around hockey and baseball.
Yeah.
And then my sister was like an NCAA champion in basketball, and my other sister was like super into soccer, and me too. And so just like all these sports, like I feel like I just like had a passion for it. But as for like I guess you were saying like Craig doesn't have like a specific passion for running. I think I do, just because like I've played all the sports and there's more that I liked more than others. For some reason I love watching football the most, but I hated playing it. And so there was definitely sports that I liked playing and I didn't like playing. And I mean, I do love running just because like it really brings out the competitor in you. It's like just head-to-head competition with like specific people. And so it kind of like tailors to that, and that's what I love about it.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
If it wasn't pro running, what would you be a pro in?
Oh, shoot. I don't know. I think I could have put in... I'm trying to think. Hold on. I do like ping pong. Ping pong's fun.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. I mean...
Or like, I was trying to think of something I was like...
I wonder, God, what's the salary like as a ping pong
pro ping pong player?
I mean, everyone
I
loves the clips of ping pong players, and it's like the insane...
It's like that's like half my TikTok.
You're like a football field away from the table, and you're just like spinning.
That was more so of a joke. But
I could see it though.
Just because like,
you could rock it.
I had a fun time doing that, and you kind of like incorporated that with like drinking games too. Not drinking games, but I just remember like a lot of good memories of like sting pong to where.
Oh yes.
I had so probably baseball. I think baseball would be like
okay.
I wish I would have like put more time into it because soccer always drew me away from baseball, but I played baseball like just as long. But I always had like I could toss some things, like, I don't know, I was a pretty good pitcher.
Okay.
But so bring it back into the ping pong thing, we used to play like sting pong to where like you like play a few rounds and then like if you lose the round, you just get to like whip a ping pong ball at someone. Yep. And everyone was always so afraid to take one from me because I would like get the curl hop in and just whip it at them, leave a little welt on their back. But
they show up to practice the next day, they just have like circles.
No, it was always so fun to do that. I mean, it's your homies and it's just a ping pong ball, so you don't want to like go easy on them. So
yeah, they'll survive.
Yeah, they'll survive.
Yeah, there's very few sports or like things that you do where the downside of losing is like I'm gonna be like kind of injured.
So how kind of like on the drinking game / running piece. So like say you're out at a bar or doing whatever at 2 a.m. and you have to run like an all-out mile. Like what's like the slowest you think you'd run? Like what's the floor for how fast can I run a mile under like any condition?
Under any are you like saying drinking as well for like a mile?
Yeah. So it's like it's super late at night, like 2 a.m. You got to run home from the bar.
Like if I just had to get up right now and go run a mile.
We incorporate the drinking piece of it because that's a little harder. But yeah, it's like no matter how tired you are, no matter like how much you've been drinking, like everyone has that limit. It's like I could go sub 5 in the mile, no matter how bad the conditions, no matter how drunk I am. Like
you're running from something, like the cops show up. And
like do you have that number in your mind of like how fast you could just. Like if you had to drop something on him, what?
I'd say like 4:30, like under any conditions. Like
okay, yeah.
I think that's probably like that feels comfortable to just like okay, I can go do that. But like I don't know for the extremes 4:30, but I don't know. It's hard to picture those circumstances.
Exactly.
I don't know how I'm feeling at the time. I mean, when you got enough in you, it feels like you can go break for.
Right,
You're like,
right.
wow, I don't feel any pain at this point.
I'm cruising, but but going 8-minute pace in the dark.
That's always fun too. Like some reason it would always come to the point in the night to where you're at the house and it's like, hey guys, let's go get some like hundreds on the street and see who can get to the stop sign
a little bit.
Get to the stop sign the fastest.
We were on the way here. We drove through campus. And we drove like right next to the Hawk and the other bars. Mm-hmm. And then you go up like the hill to campus. I was like, this is what you had to walk like back to the dorms. This is what you walk.
I wasn't expecting it to be that steep. When you were talking about it, I was like, he's hyping
dude,
it up.
It kind of
so steep. Yeah.
I have a funny story for that. I don't know like I should tell it or not, but so like,
worst case we'll cut it, but
okay. Yeah. So my roommate at the time, he'd been like talking to this girl all night and he's like injured. I think he had like a stress fracture in his foot. So this kid's in a boot. I don't know if he was on crutches. He was definitely on crutches like maybe a day or two before. But so up that steep hill, dude's carrying a girl like on his back to like kind of go back to the dorms. And we're just like, where are you going? It was like, we're going back to the dorms. And it's just, I was like, I do not know how he made it up that hill in a boot.
Carrying
It was one of the greatest feats that I'd seen of
that is quite a feat.
Yeah, it was interesting. But
yeah, everything goes on in that. Like you see people just like passed out on a speed limit sign. You see people running up the hill. You see people like crashing and burning going down towards the bar.
Dangerous campus, man.
Kind of.
That's wild. Yeah, I when we were driving up that hill, I was like, "This is San Francisco." Like, or like one of those crazy cities. It's just like those couple streets are so insane.
Hills come out of nowhere, and Coach makes make advantage of that because like we'll go to some of the routes and it's like, oh, you seem to find the hills.
Yeah,
it's like, oh man.
Yeah, do you do much like country road running?
Yeah, that's like all our roads is like we just kind of like drive out to. They bust us out to the dirt roads and stuff and. That's what I like about it because like there's so many different routes that we have that
it's super peaceful.
There's some pretty there's some pretty stuff to me like for those routes.
I mean, I even think like if you consider, if you think that like a farm or like just cornfields are boring, but like out in the dirt roads, it's just like I think of it almost as like a pseudo Magnolia Road. Like it's just like nothing else is here. It's just like the team. Exactly. And like, I don't know, some fucking horses or something.
Right. Some horses running alongside you. See, this is the picture. The horses run alongside you. They take a picture and it's just like blowing in the wind. And yeah. That's the majesticness of it.
It's fun. Yeah, it's fun to squat up like on a road. Just take up the whole road, like squat. Just rolling deep. Yeah. So you've said before that you're kind of more like on the endurance side of training and like not necessarily as much speed. So are you doing some pretty decent like long runs, tempos and whatnot out on those roads?
I think so. So we were doing like 5-mile tempos. So I was going into like the 1500 pretty confident. Like I thought my strength was higher than it was. Right. It just like didn't come together though. I thought you
went for it though.
I did. Like,
I mean, they went out hard. Like it. I mean, you were just off. You were a little bit off of like Ollie and Justin off the pace, but like you were still way ahead of the rest of the pack. Like you committed.
Yeah. I just kind of like felt defeated just because like I had got lost in that no man's land for the longest time. And like I felt like I was already putting in like a lot of work just to stay there. Yeah. And then obviously they started making the move on the outside. And I forgot who caught it. I think it was like Pete that said like, I saw you smiling on that last turn. And I was like, yeah, I knew I was like not going to be able to go with that. And so I kind of like defeated myself, but they're just like all passing on the inside. I'm like going, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to do that. And so I was like, okay, I'm just going to like bring it in as best I can. And then that's kind of like how the 400 went today too. They saw me smiling on the like straightaway. And I was like, yeah, like that was my max speed.
So you smile when you're like absolute capped out.
Yeah. Just cause like, I know I reached my limit, and so it's not like when I lose, it's like, oh, like super hard on myself. It's just like, yeah, like they bested me today, and so
so you're satisfied with.
I'm satisfied because like I know, I know what I can give, and so if someone beats me, it's like good for them, and so
Is there going to be a 1500 redemption at some point before the trials, or are you just sticking to the 8s?
Not before the trials. At some point, just like when I have another opportunity, because I definitely can go faster.
What's your PR for sure?
3:43. Is that your PR?
I think it was like 42 or 43.
42. Yeah. Okay.
But before then it was like 47, and so it's like okay, 5-second PR. So
just do it again.
Another 5-second PR. Yeah.
I mean, certainly capable of it.
Yeah, no.
Certainly capable of it.
I think it's just right day, right conditions. And
Right. Yeah, like you haven't hit the famous sub 4 mile officially yet. So.
I need to get back into a mile. I guess they like mostly do that indoors now, but
right. Especially with that 1K performance. I mean, you're definitely, I guess.
Oh yeah.
I guess going forward. I mean, you're like, there's no need to step up right now because you're so good at the 8. But is that like, do you think about that at all? Like next Olympic cycle, maybe like I might be a 15 guy, or do you still see yourself as?
I feel like if I like train for the 15 and start actually putting thought into it, because like even going into that, it's like I'm running 15. Like I'll just get out there and see what I can do.
Yeah, see what happens.
I didn't like how I'm kind of like. Looking into like all the stuff for the 15, I was like, I have no clue what I'm doing. I was like, I'll try my best, guys. But no, I think once I like kind of move that transition, I think it'll be something I can hopefully excel at in the future.
For sure.
So you've talked a lot about doing pretty hefty base, at least for an 800 meter runner.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about like your lifting routines specific to like, let's say I'm having a good night. I want to hype up the crowd, but like the front door is locked and I need to bust it down. What should I be lifting for that? What's my routine?
You went down a very specific path there. I didn't know where you were going with that, but then I realized where you were going with that.
Shoot. I don't even know. My lifting routine like isn't anything crazy. I feel like a lot of just like explosive like squats and stuff is what gets you, because like obviously you can like max out and squat. You don't want to be super strong for the 8, but having that explosiveness to where you're kind of like pairing the strength with like making sure you're like got those quick twitch muscle fibers going.
Right.
Is what we kind of like trying to analyze my lifting skill.
Do you focus more on like power output than like max reps or?
Yeah, I think so. Okay. Just like at least I haven't like that's another thing that I haven't really analyzed, and like kind of where I say in some other podcasts, like Coach Whit's kind of the mastermind. I mean, he knows everything. I kind of just like go along with it. And don't really question him. Yeah, but no, it's something I definitely need to look into more, because like I don't know, I like to know all that I can about what I'm doing, I guess.
Yeah, that's like I've still like I've personally never figured that out, and like I feel like a lot of people vary so much. Like some mid-D distance guys, like they don't even lift at all. Or at least, minimal. And then some are like all about like the max, like if you can max rep, then you're going to be faster, you're going to be better. And so I feel like that's an area that's like still not, I'd say in general, like lifting good, Olympic lifting good. Like I think everyone's kind of figured that out, but to the extent of like, is it better to do, more reps, low weight, or like really like max out and get like super strong? I don't know. I think there's still some debate in the running world on what's better for you. I guess it probably also depends on your body type too. If you're naturally just a stronger dude, you don't need to be maxing out on squats or anything, versus if you're like a more scrawny dude, you probably, could use some more lifting.
Yeah. I think what a lot of people like that I've come across, like just athletes here at KU that like think if they just like run all the time or like put a lot of effort into running, they're just going to get better. But there's like, you have weightlifting too. And it's like, I'll see them in there just like not doing it or like skipping reps and like kind of just like trying to get in and out of there. And it's like, dude, like, I know you don't realize it. I know but you're like, you got to get into lifting and take it serious, because like this is where you're going to get your speed and your strength, and like it's just as important to training for sure in the weight room as just like out there doing intervals and running.
Oh yeah.
So,
outside of like the secondary, like if you want to call weightlifting like some sort of secondary exercise for running, similar to that, like what else have you noticed going to pro that you've taken more seriously, like whether it's nutrition or sleep?
All of it, like
all of the above.
All of it, because I feel like just being more aware of like what you're doing. Like I feel like a lot through college, I never put any thought into nutrition. It's just like if I eat a burger or like anything like that, or burgers are good, but I just like didn't give a second thought to it. But now it's like, okay, let me make sure I'm getting what I need in my body for this workout tomorrow, and like just little things like that, and like not too much thought, but you don't want to eat some hot wings right before a race,
right?
And be dealing with that in the morning. But yeah, I don't know. Just,
like in your mentality, how do you deal with that? Like where you draw a line in the sand of, okay, like this is under my control and this is outside of my control. So like if you have some slip ups, let's say you go to Culver's, I don't know what's out here, Dairy Queen, and you're like, I'm pounding some mixers or whatever. Like how do you justify that or kind of like get over it mentally to still like give it your best and like not have that in the back of your mind in the middle of a race?
Yeah, I feel like for me it goes back to the stress thing. You don't want to like get too into it to where like you're just driving yourself insane because like you're letting those little things get to you. And it's like, oh, like if I eat ice cream cone and you think like, okay, I'm gonna run slower because of it. I think you just gotta like kind of ignore those things and like just like try to live your life at the same time, but also like you gotta be an elite athlete. And so I think just like not stressing yourself about it, and you can I mean your body can afford, you're performing and training at this high level, like
Right.
you can have an ice cream cone occasionally, like
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know, that's kind of how I always approached it.
What's your go-to, like if you know you're going to have a meal that is not really going to align with where you want your nutrition to be, what is it?
I just mentioned it, the hot wings, the
Hot wings.
half price wings on Tuesday. They're just too good.
So no workouts on Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday's our off day, so
There we go.
or like not off day, but like easy day. And so
There's a particular spot that you go?
Jefferson's here.
Jefferson's.
It's like the local spot, and it's so good.
There we
I've
go.
always like had a weakness for wings, but no, I don't do it all the time, but yeah,
For
I
sure.
have it occasionally.
That was one question I wanted to ask was, okay, so say you win, I guess we'll go Olympic trials. You win the Olympic trials, but then more importantly, like you medal at the Olympics or win the Olympics. What does that like celebration look like for probably not even just that night, but like, the next like month or two? Like, are you just gonna just really enjoy the next couple months and be like, mission accomplished. I got that medal. I got that W. Like how are you enjoying that over the whatever day or couple months? I don't know how long it would take you to get back to the point where you're like, all right, I need to get back on the grind and get back into this for.
No, I mean from here on until like the end of the Olympics, drinking is definitely kind of like out of the picture, just because
right.
It's more so just like a distraction. Like it gets you kind of like out of the mindset, and like it's not going to destroy your body if you do it. But for me, it's just like, all right, like just keep that out and stay focused with what you're doing. But like after the Olympics, I mean, I've always pictured like just bringing the medal back home to the boys, and it's like, hey guys, let's kind of like tour the town with this medal.
Yes,
so
yes.
that's how I've pictured it. But no, I think I'm more so just looking just like summer with people staying here in Lawrence is always just like some beer die in the backyard is just so much fun. Just kind of like casually hanging out, and so I'm kind of like not looking forward to that again, but. I don't know, at the same time I am.
Yeah, for sure. So it's not, you don't have any like grand plans necessarily. It's just spending time with people you're close with, chilling and kicking it. Yeah.
I mean, that's what it is. Like, that's what I kind of picture. Just like, I mean, you just bring the medal and like show it to all the homies here, and it's like,
that's right.
You open beers with it.
If it's real gold, you can do whatever with that thing, man. It's indestructible. So.
Yeah, that's what I.
All right, so you're a medal at the bars kind of guy.
No,
not at the bars.
That would be scary.
Not at the bars. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, I guess you wouldn't want to get that stolen from
just
you.
like just the
bad.
house party, and it's like
House party. Okay.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
But no, I'm not the one to like. I don't want to be like flamboyant with it, and so
that was Eric Jenkins.
Eric said
he was talking about Centro. He's
yeah.
like, oh, Centro definitely wore that to the bars, and it's like I don't know if he actually did
I don't
or
like
not, but
I wouldn't like to bring that attention. It's more so just like I like experiencing stuff with a small group. Like who could care less of who's out at the bars? Like, but I don't know.
For sure.
Yeah. But. Yeah.
Should we do some closing questions?
Yeah, let's rock it. You have to start because I never remember these.
Start? All right. Let's go with we already got your favorite food. Let's go with what's your favorite beverage? We'll go with that.
Favorite beverage. I think the rum and Coke is what I've always gone with.
Was that Ellie Purrier that said the same thing?
She said the
rum and
exact
Coke,
same
right?
thing, which completely shocked me after the Texas qualifier.
She walked down the red
She was like,
carpet,
I'm just going to
like,
hang
all
out
right.
at home and have some rum and Coke with my husband. I was like, okay.
Hell yeah.
Well,
it's delicious.
It's a good one.
But there's this one rum that I bought that like, it just looked really cool because it had like a netting around it. It was the worst thing I've ever tasted. It was like,
really?
We were really disappointed. It was like, oh, what is
So does it matter what the rum is then, or do you just kind of whatever, switch it up, just grab whatever you're looking
Usually
at
just
that
like
day?
the dark ones are like, it's like white or dark, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. And are you beer at all or not so much?
I usually try to stay with it just because it's like just so much volume to like put in you. Like, I'd say just because like my sister's wedding, I had like a really fun experience with some ultras because it was like open bar.
Yep.
So that's just been my go-to, and they're like, I mean,
95 cals.
at one point.
It's healthy, man.
At some point of the night, it's just like, okay, it's water at this point, and so they're good for hydration.
Right? I mean, not wrong.
Yeah, that's probably the go-to.
So just whatever. You're not like go to the brewery and whatever into the craft beer scene much.
That's one of the things like
not right
I
now,
haven't
but-
got into just like drinking all that much. Like I just started when I was like 21, which was like kind of a late start, I guess, for some. But
No, everyone waits till they're 21 in college.
yeah,
Come on.
everyone.
Especially here.
Especially KU.
But no, I definitely. I mean, once I'm not like a professional runner, it would be cool to kind of look into because I mean it's pretty good, and I mean
There's like I don't know, just a big culture around going to breweries, and I don't know, it's an experience, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So on a similar note to like the post-Olympic celebration, if you had one day left to live and money was no object, you could spend however much you wanted, what would you do?
Going back to I think I'd just have like a party on the yacht on the coast of Monaco.
There
Like,
it is.
hell yeah.
You gotta get like a crazy one, and it's just like out at night and just throwing a rager on it. I think that'd be so much fun. You gotta have like every person you've ever met and just invite everyone. It's like
Just have a night.
yeah, that'd be insane. That'd be fun.
I like that. Man, we kind of already answered the.
We kind of sprinkled a lot of them in.
We sprinkled a lot of those in there.
Yeah.
I guess more specifically, are you much of a dessert guy or nah?
Oh,
If you had to go with a dessert, like what's your go-to?
my new thing has been just like plopping some vanilla ice cream on a brownie. That's like amazing.
I can't
But-
go wrong.
For some
Classic.
reason, when you're at meets, there's always cheesecake on like a hotel menu. And so I like to tell that one, like me and Donovan ordered like Clayton, because we were like
Yeah.
kids at Doha, and we like both ordered like a cheesecake, and there were these tiny little slivers, and we just like had to order more because it was like, oh, this is not enough. And so yeah, cheesecake is solid, especially when you drizzle that strawberry. But yeah, that's what I go to after the races.
There we go.
It seems healthy. I mean, cheesecake, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it's dairy, it's calcium. You know,
Yeah.
it's good. It's good stuff.
Man, I'm like blank. I think we did put a lot of them.
We did put a lot into it.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think you can run for a beer mile? Have you ever done a beer mile?
Oh yeah, I wanted to get into this. So
Let's get into this.
So we've never done beer. I've never done the beer mile, but it was kind of like a tradition a little bit to like do the milk mile here.
Okay.
And so that was tough.
Yeah,
like
sure.
that was crazy. But so same that I was kind of mentioning earlier, and that I don't know if we're gonna cut it or not, but he is like insane at putting down. Like he would just like come up and then like he was gone in like a second. It takes him like 1 to 3 seconds to like put down a cup.
This is boot guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
But
you can just hit up
So, like,
out of the glass.
so
like,
he
out of the pint
crushed it,
glass
like,
or
mentally
solo
strong.
cup.
yeah, he's a good miler, and then like I thought I had it just because like I mean I was gonna like crush him in the mile, but a huge factor is like seeing how fast you can put it down.
Yeah.
But like I don't know, I don't think I got under 5 just because I was sitting there like sipping on the milk after the 4th lap. It's like I cannot put it more.
It's
my
brutal
stomach.
when you're just kind
It's
of
like,
like,
oh,
yeah.
nursing the 4th
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
It was tough. If I can get that drinking down though, like I don't know. That's such a hard event. I don't know how you do it. Like
I mean, I mean, I think the milk is like just way grosser though. I don't know. Like,
yeah, it sits so much heavier in your stomach.
I think that it hurts the running more. Like, obviously with the beer, you're kind of burping and
'cause-
stuff.
But do you like feel the pain, or like do you get stitches from it, or
As
not
long as you burp.
Stitch, yeah, I
Nah.
think it's more just like the whole time you're running,
can't
which
burp.
honestly is a nice distraction. Like you're running around the track burping, and you're kind of forgetting that you're like
Oh,
racing a
you're,
mile.
yeah,
you
you're
know?
focused on burping.
You're
but
focused
with,
on like
but with milk,
yeah.
there's no
Oh, okay.
carbonation,
But
so
with
you're just
milk,
sitting
you
with
just
the
feel
pain.
disgusted.
See,
Yeah.
with milk on the 4th lap, I'm like holding just like
yeah,
this
see,
feels
I
terrible.
don't get that
Yeah.
in the beer mile versus the milk mile.
So I want to try one. I mean, maybe that can be one of the things of the celebration.
Post-Olympic,
yeah,
Post-Olympics.
yeah. See what
I'll
you
hit
can
y'all
do
guys
there.
up and like send y'all a little video or something.
I was gonna say we would gladly
Another road-
spectate that.
another road trip.
Yeah.
So
we love Kansas City. So.
I don't know like how y'all would put it together, but I'd really want to see if y'all could get some like pros together to
Yeah.
like have like a cool pro beer mile.
Yeah, we've been thinking about doing one post Fifth Ave mile.
Okay.
Just because everyone's in for that weekend, and
It's not really going to be much racing after that. It's
Yeah,
September,
basically
it should
end
be
of the season.
So,
I mean,
I think you could have a good amount of people that would be into it.
the amount of
Yeah.
people that have said like, "Oh, I'd probably do it," even if you like halved that number, it's still enough to put on a race.
I
I'd
think
say.
it'd be fun. Like even if it's just underground and like it's just like, hey, let's all go walk and find a track and just do it for, bragging rights, whatever. I think a lot of people would be down to do it.
Yeah.
It would be probably even better if we could figure out a way to get like good prize money offered for it as well.
Oh shoot, y'all are going hard.
I mean,
yeah.
there's potential. Honestly, it just depends on how official. If it's underground and just like, hey, we're gonna go do it for the hell of it, then no prize money. But if there would be a way to like actually reserve a track and have
and
like make an
you can
event out of
charge
it.
spectator money.
Okay.
I mean, we've
y'all put a
kind
lot
of thought
into
about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely know someone
Yeah.
who would put up big prize money if pro runners would do it. Like
Yeah.
I'm talking like 5,000 the winner, maybe even more. Like
Yeah.
I could.
I mean, it would probably be like actually Fifth Ave money.
Oh, for sure. That would be the fun of it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think if we did that, right, would people would show up?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's more.
We'll have
so
to
just,
recruit
like-
your buddy. I mean, he might have a good showing.
Oh, I'll see if we bring it out. I'm gonna try to get him to do it again. I've never seen him do a beer one either, so I think he could.
If he,
Hey,
yeah,
if
he
you
can
can,
chug it
if you
on
can
like
make
that,
the
then
American team, that's like basically a free flight to
that too,
Manchester
that
this
too.
year.
We're trying to find some other good Americans at the beer mile. I think. Well, there's got to be a lot of good dudes that can do it. You all just are good at running, so you don't partake in the beer enough. But
no.
but I think that would be it'd be good to get a whole like good squad together because all the other teams like I don't know. Have you met Corey Belmore from Canada at all? Do you know him?
I haven't.
He's more of a 1500 guy, but yeah, he's like the only like pro runner that I know that crushes a beer mile and does that as well. Kind of like lives both lives. Like is the pro runner all year, and then the world championship hits. That's like his one beer mile of the year, and just crushes that too, and then gets back to the running scene after that. So
dang, yeah, that's a good way to do it.
It'd be fun if we had some. He's Canadian, so it'd be fun if we had some Americans that could like match that same level of.
No, I think. I mean, what did y'all have Craig? Did he say he tried it? Or
He said he would be bad.
Craig said he would be bad at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said he couldn't drink 4
I
of
think
them.
he just has that like kind of like I don't know, like following with the because they toss him the beer at the US, but I guess
I think
he
he
can go
chug
all day.
one-
Like
he
he's a
can
good
chug one-
like just he could have a darty and just go all
Yeah.
day, but he's not like a chug them really like 4 of them really
I think
fast.
he can chug a beer really fast, but I think it's once you get to like 2, 3, and 4.
Right.
It's,
how like strict are the rules? Like, are you allowed to like shotgun these beers for? Like,
No, just
Okay. Has
you
to be
can
out
choose a
of a
can or
bottle.
a bottle, but you just gotta
Okay.
no tampering. You just gotta
okay.
drink it normally.
yeah.
Yeah. So bottles faster. Just practice with the bottle.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it bottles faster for sure. Yeah.
Dang, put in some training with water.
I mean, really,
That's-
honestly,
yeah.
that's all I do. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't.
You
I do like a
drink,
couple
slam
beer
4
miles.
beers every night. That's kind of
Yeah,
wild.
then that's not gonna work because you got to be fast. And
Yeah,
there's
you gotta be
you're not
fit.
gonna be. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to be able to run a low 4 mile while drinking, and you're not gonna do that if you're drinking beer every night. You just got to stick to the waters.
And do we have any closing words of wisdom?
Yeah. Do you have anything you want to plug? Any closing words of wisdom?
Shoot.
Any shots you want to fire? Any beef you want to start? Any? I mean,
No.
I'm gonna break this record. I'm gonna whoop you. No, just
I'm not one
runners
for that.
can't really talk. Yeah, runners can't really do that because then you like the race tells it all.
Yeah.
There's not a.
I'll try to give out a shout out to like all the pro runners. Like, hey, let's put something together for that beer mile. at
There
the
we
end
go.
after
All
the
right.
Olympics. I mean, so
Yeah.
let's see y'all out there. I'll be out there,
Perfect.
but
Perfect.
Hell yeah.
There we go. You heard it here first. Bryce is gonna be there.
yeah.
All right,
No, that's all I
Bryce.
got.
Awesome. Thanks for letting us chill on your porch here, and then Lawrence, and great job on the weekend 800, 400, and we'll be
Yeah.
rooting you on at the Olympic trials and in the Olympics as well.
I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks for having me on.